and I need to say I like it. So
She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her.
and we arrive. I think I died and went to heaven. So apparently in Frankfurt, Aston Martin, Jaguar, and Land Rover is at one place. Means I can take a look at the F-Pace, Vantage, and Defender. Well, not that I'm gonna buy them all or something, but I'm interested in each of these cars for different reasons. By the way, just beside us, like left from me, stands DBX, and I need to tell you, it looks a lot better in real life than in picture because it looks like a little bit like Ford Kuga. So okay, let's poke around.
At the features, you'll find her beauty goes much deeper once you get to meet her. She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's lining up to see her. There must be something about her features. You'll find her beauty goes much deeper once you get to meet her. Let me paint a picture. I see they don't understand.
Hey guys, Ted here in the studio. I was just editing the part 2 of the M5 video, and I just realized I didn't record any kind of like transition talking stuff, so I'm gonna do it right now with the new camera. I just got this camera like last week, so might as well test it. So in this video we're gonna go visit the headphone company, because I'm gonna try out some of the new custom in-ear monitors. And I guess I've never said it before, but I'm also interested in music, and I'm actually also playing music on stage. That's why getting a custom in-ears is kind of like one of my hobby, and I really love it because I'm just gonna put like some photo how it would look like to have your in-ear piece custom made. And yeah, and that's actually one of the reasons I did this road trip, because there's only one company in Germany that offers this product and have also like the piece that you can test it, you can do a demo with. And by the way, after this we're gonna hit the city and go up the mountain and take a photo. So there's like this spot in Heidelberg where you can make a really great scenery photo, and it overlooks the whole city. All right then, stay tuned and hope you enjoy the video. driving M5 LCI. LCI is the way BMW says to you that this is the facelift. I've been driving this car for around 1,500 kilometers, and I am happy to report BMW changed something in this car, not just the light. And if you're in the market for this car, you need to look a little bit more in detail, because I've seen already that people can just change the lights, like front and the back, so all of them, to the LCI lights. So if you really want the feature of the LCI, you need to get the new one. And by the way, as you already know, I have driven the normal M5, and today so I got the LCI one. So yeah, let's go to the point. What makes this different, and if it's worth your money? Because the used LCI in the market still costs around 86 until open end actually, but it starts at 86,000 euro. And for the good one with less mileage, you're gonna look at around 92, 93,000. So knowing that the price of normal M5 before pre-LCI is starting at around 70k, is around 20,000 euro premium on LCI. Alright, so how does it drive? First thing first, it drives like BMW. Second thing, yes, it is a little bit quiet, as you can already maybe hear in this video, but it still keeps the good stuff from M5, which means it's a good cruiser, it's a good daily, and it can handle sporty stuff as well. So when I was in Heidelberg, I went down this twisty road, down and up actually, and I need to be honest and tell you that the car cannot really hide its mass, so that this car is heavy, but the suspension and the steering, it's just so good that you have this confidence to just drive this car hard. And I think it's really good. And also, like, at this price point for a super saloon, so you know, like sub 100k, to have this double personality is actually a good stuff. That's why, first impression, a good car, can handle sporty stuff, and a good cruiser as well. So I've been going up and down the autobahn for around 1,000 kilometers in this car. Yeah, it is quick, actually very quick, and it drives like a BMW. I mean, it drives better in the high speed. And if you go to Sport Plus and you go from standstill, you want to really give the beans, and you start with the first gear, it can get jerky. Also, as like the other BMW. Like when I had that M4 competition, that's the one thing that I hate about that car. And by the way, that happened again when I drove the M8 competition, and I think that happened as well once with this. So this is the M5. So yeah, the normal BMW means this car is unmistakably a BMW. But one thing that I like about this car, I think it is more a sleeper than RS6, for example. So if people don't know and they don't really take a closer look, they don't really know that this is an M5. So it looks actually quite similar to the normal BMW 5 Series. Oh, by the way, straight off Berlin, as you can see my camera. And yeah, and I think it's a good thing to do, because then not everyone try to race you, because that always happened in the RS6. And I mean, like, this kind of like I think it comes down to preference. Do you really want people to know, or do you want to sometimes go home from work and just drive 30 miles an hour or like 50 kilometers per hour if you're in Germany, without anyone or like everyone try to race you from the traffic light, right? So that's the thing. But having said that,
I think like the strength of the latest RS6, first thing first, it's a state wagon. It's an avant. Yet it looks so sexy. It's arguably the best looking avant, I think, like this year at least. So the latest RS6, also with the 22-inch wheels. And if you are an Audi fan, you will know, but Audi has just released the RS6 Performance, in which you can opt to get the bronze wheels, 22-inch performance wheels. So I think it has some mass, as an unsprung mass advantage in comparison to the normal one, I guess. And it just looks so good. And Audi put a 30 more horsepower into it, so it now has 630 horsepower, the RS6 Performance. And they also tinker a bit with suspension. So I need to wait and see if it's better or not, like, you know, because in my perception RS6 is an ideal cruiser, like a power avant. I mean, like, it's a car that you can take your whole family and friends on a long trip, and if you already drop them in hotel, you want to check out the twisty roads, you can also have fun. That's how I describe RS6, and I think it's also why it's so appealing. But as we all know, like, finding a sweet spot for suspension in a kind of like souped up normal car like RS6, M5, E63 is a hard thing. For example, like E63S, like, oh, just a moment, let me put it back up again. I need to get new one. Like E63S has been notorious for having a really hard suspension for a family car. And the last time I drove RS6 is actually one of the most comfy suspension in this class. I think like Panamera is also very similar, has the similar feeling, and it's also like, if not more sporty actually than RS6, but the price point is different, right? So RS6 new costs around 180,000 euro here in Germany, with reasonable specs. And I think like Panamera Turbo, I think like the fastest one with the hybrid costs marginally more than that. So yeah, but yeah, I'm actually excited also for this year to try RS6 Performance. But let's see, now back to the M5. And M5 is more like your sporty limousine. So, and actually, kudos to BMW, they have found that sweet spot with this car. So M8 competition didn't really get it right, so the suspension was really hard. It was just like, you know, if the road is bumpy, then the car is gonna be just jumping all over the place. So not the best suspension ever, and that's also like what I already said in my M8's competition video, I guess. But M5 kind of just get it right, so it has a little touch of sportiness, but it doesn't sacrifice comfort a lot. But I also heard M5 competition is whole different thing, so it's just too hard. That's what a lot of people who had it told me, which I guess makes sense because it's competition. And as we already knew back in the days from M4 to M4 competition, BMW always work on the suspension. So I believe that just by opinions of others. But this M5 and the last M5 that I drove was also not a competition. Both of them had actually a really nice suspension. So of course it's not like a suspension like Rolls-Royce or something, but it is still sporty, but it doesn't kill your back, so it's good. So yeah, I just finished eating. That's fine, I'm sorry. So we move on. How does it look? I think it looks a little bit like the new Skoda Octavia. I think I've said that actually in the last M5 video as well. But the whole shape, the whole concept of 5 Series is still in this car. If you see the silhouette of this car, you would know it's a 5 Series, right? And what I also need to say, the sound system in this car, the Bowers and Wilkins, spot on. And the last time I took a look at the configuration when I was packing M8 competition, if I'm not mistaken, the extra price for Bowers and Wilkins are actually not that expensive anymore. Like, I think like it was 3,700, 4,000 euro. And if I'm not mistaken, before that it was around 5,000, 6,000 euro. That's why I said in M850i video, this sound system is just not worth the price. But at around 3K, 4K, I think it's okay. It's okay. It's literally a step up from the normal sound system, which I had in my M4, by the way, M4 competition. But the difference between Harman Kardon and this one is not that. I don't know. You need to be an audiophile to really hear it, I guess. And yeah, but it looks good though with the diamond crystal, like the lights effect and yada yada yada. I know it's only optics, but it looks good, you know. So yeah, and there you go. It's 3,700, 4,000 euro more price than the normal one. And if it's worth it for you, then you should take that box or get a used one with that option. And I think at the moment it's not really hard to find a used one with Bowers and Wilkins sound system. I've seen at least 5 of them actually, like in the lower price range. So not like it's because it has Bowers and Wilkins, so the used one is actually like 20 grand more than the other used one with Harman Kardon. So yes, moving on. And yeah, and so we already talked about the look, we already talked about the price. So what are we actually missing? It's actually interesting because I need to park first. Let me try. So, but having said that, it's like, I really like the fact that this car is kind of a sleeper. Like, of course, once you start the car, people will know and notice because it just sounded different. It's not loud, but it sounded different. It sounded different enough, I mean, than your normal 6-cylinder 5 Series. And by the way, I also happy to report at long last, and I don't know when this happened, but when you use your Google Map, your Apple CarPlay, Apple Map, and blah 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 in a BMW iDrive, they can show the navigation in the head-up display. And I mean, I've never seen that really. Like, I also need to say, actually, I haven't tried it since the last time, like, you know, when I tried it, like, I can only see the navigation from Apple CarPlay only on this big big display, so in the middle, but not in head-up display. So that's +1 for this BMW. But I'm still wondering if it's just a matter of software, or you can get it only with LCI, or what's actually the deal. But yeah, but as it is now, I'm actually quite attracted to this car. I mean, surprise. But yeah, on the way back to Berlin, I spotted X5 competition. It was in restricted autobahn, so we were free to speed as fast as we can. So I saw him pass me, and at one point I caught up to him. So we went for a little bit of race, and actually because it was Sunday in the morning, so it was pretty empty, so it was quite safe. But one thing for sure, rolling race, M5, and it's not a competition, M5 took off faster than the X5. And I mean, I kinda expected that because X5 has more, it's heavier, has more mass. Of course, it has more power, but I'm actually quite sure the X5M competition, it reached 100 in around 4 seconds or 4.4. I can be wrong, but I'm gonna Google it and write it down here. And yeah, and it was not surprise, but it's just kind of fun. And I guess like the guy, actually, when I was about to overtake him, he saw me, of course, and he tried to match me, right? You know, he put it into sport class, so I heard the sound from the exhaust, but then I just went. It's not even fair actually. So my phone is fell, but let's just continue. Let's just continue speaking about the X5M competition. And yeah, so he really tried to kind of like to race, but I guess like 2 seconds afterwards, he realized, okay, that's an M5. It was not a 5 series because he thought it was 5 series. And this is the point where I understood this car looks a lot like 5 series, and it is actually good. So, you know, it kind of like caught people off guard. And yeah, and so over the period of last 3 days, so I tried to hit the top speed of this car as usual, but because we have winter, so I didn't really go full on. I think the fastest I achieved was around 260, and it still can go faster than that. So plenty of power, it's quick enough, it has boots, and this car has rear seat, and it is priced reasonably in the used car market, which is actually nice. But having said that, means this car is depreciating quite hefty. So I think like the reason for RS6, because RS6 is known to hold its value really well, and M5 actually, if you want one, you really need to go for the used one, because first thing first, it is known that the engine of M5 is not really reliable. So based on like, you know, like this customer survey or whatever, so I took a look when CarWow did it, and also like I think like there's another one did it, but mainly the CarWow customer survey or something. So M5 is notorious for not being very reliable, but we are talking about BMW here. And you know, like I've seen actually a lot of my viewers are from either from US or UK, so you guys know, especially the one from US. Like I think like I have a feeling that when I went to Insta or going to comment section in YouTube, like all Americans always say like, BMW is nice, but I would rather drive my Honda or my, I don't know, Lexus or something. Yeah, of course, it's just two different beasts. But yeah, but this car is depreciating a lot because first thing first, it's notorious for being not reliable, and second thing, it's just not that desirable. It's like you know, like people don't really want to have an M5, whereas people really like or would love to have an RS6. So there's like two type of beasts. So if you're gonna get an RS6, the competition, not the competition, the performance one, you should get a new one, I guess. Either you finance it or you just buy cash, because that's gonna be the last RS6 that Audi is building, and afterwards it's gonna be, I heard it's gonna be hybrid or stuff. So yeah, but if you're gonna get an M5, get a used one. You know, you really need to use to abuse that price advantage. And actually it is M5 is really a good car. It's not like, you know, deep in, like inside here, the interior, it's not like the latest tech fest, like for example like the new 7 Series or i7, but it just does the job as usual, like with other BMW other products in BMW lineups. And the engine is amazing. It is quick, and it looks actually fairly good, and it's cheaper than RS6. Of course, it's not an Avant, but to be fair, an Avant, you can only use it, like use the maximum potential of an Avant if you are transporting a lot of stuff from IKEA every day. But I doubt that you gonna take every time you go to IKEA your RS6. I think better take your Caddy or something, or your Ford Transit. it will be able to carry more stuff anyway. But yeah, but that's about it. And LCI, the refresh M5, love it. And also the steering, actually, like a lot of people don't like the steering, but I guess BMW make it so assisted and so numb because they want this car to be a good cruiser. And there's a difference between sports car and cruiser. Like sports car, the steering is normally more alive, means you get more feedback, or it's a little bit more responsive. But in a cruiser, in a GT car or cruiser, you don't want the steering to be too responsive, because a lot of times, like 80% of the times, you are just going in straight line, right? But I actually tried the Sport Plus steering, and I am happy to report that BMW doesn't mess it up this time. So it's not overly heavy. It's like nice heavy. It's not too, how can I say it? It's not too fake or something. So yeah, it's just like a nice feeling, a nice heavy feeling. So that's one thing, and I feel like that's one thing that I want to report, because in the M5 before the facelift, the steering in the Sport Plus is just too heavy. And no one understood why BMW had to make it that way. Exactly. Alright, so that's it about the video of M5. So I'm now parked as usual, and I'm just gonna go out and meet my friends. It's been a long road trip. See you in the next videos. I guess it's either gonna be M5, or we gonna then go to the studio and try to spec the M8 competition, because I think actually I promised that, but I haven't done it. So yeah, stay cool, stay healthy, enjoy your car, and drive responsibly. See you next video. Ciao. Oh, that was fun.